Hello my dear friends of Symphonic Brass Music, and welcome to sort of the second part to the video I did last week. Last week I said you should know your music theory, and today I say you should know your audio engineering and your electronics and your meters and your knobs and everything. And it's pretty much the same as I said with the music theory, but on a bit different approach. When I started this job back, I don't know how many years, because I don't know how to define when I started this as a job. Anyway, when I started, I didn't really have an idea how this all worked. I mean, I used a compressor to make stuff more loud. I guess we all did it. But sooner or later, I realized, well, I need to know all this stuff. And I need to know exactly how an EQ works and how a compressor works and how an exciter works and how an expander works and what a preamp does and what a tube's doing different than transistor, what about acoustics, what foam does, what a plate does, what a diffuser does, to learn what a microphone did, what a dynamic microphone does different than a condenser, than a ribbon, and all this stuff. And I try to get this in my head as much as possible and spend every day with learning something. Might it be music theory, might it be audio engineering, and I take all this knowledge basically from YouTube, to be honest. So again, I will try to do these videos I did in German, again in English, because I want you guys to learn something. So if you want to see these videos, hit the subscribe button and then you will get these videos eventually. We're getting there. But why should you be able to learn this? I mean, if I look at the preamp right here on my right hand side, well, there's just one knob and three buttons. One is saying plus 48V, one is saying low cut, and one is saying phase. Okay, if you know nothing at all, you might realize that as you turn that button, your microphone gets louder. And if there's no signal coming in because it's a condenser, which you don't know, and you press this 48 button, then, well, I have sound. Oh, great, cool. And if this 48 button is on and you put a dynamic microphone, which you don't know that is a dynamic microphone, it still works. So, well, it doesn't matter. But then you put on a ribbon mic, which you don't know that is a ribbon mic, and you just blow the thing. Bit money wasted. If you would have known this, because you knew what this plus 48V button does, and you know what a ribbon mic is, and you know what a condenser mic is, and a dynamic mic, then you wouldn't have done this, so you wouldn't have wasted money. Okay, doesn't matter, you learned your lesson, and now you know, this microphone that looks like this, I will never press that button again. Okay, you might destroy another ribbon mic, but let's go to the next button, which says low cut. There's a W missing, RME. There's a W missing. It's just LOCUT. There's a W missing. Whatever. So you press that button and think, well, don't hear a difference because you just recorded vocals. Well, don't hear a difference. That's great. I'll leave that button on. And the next thing you're going to record is a kick drum. And just forget it, because it sounds like it just sounds and you don't even think about it. And then you start mixing this record and you realize, well, my kick drum doesn't have any low end. Yes, because you pressed a low cut, which will get rid of everything below, I guess it's 80 on the RME Octamic. I don't know. 80 or 100. I seriously don't know. But there are frequencies missing that you would have liked to be boosted on a kick drum. So what you do? Well, you learned your lesson and will never press this button again on the kick drum. A whole wasted session, a whole wasted day probably, or even more. And wasted money on that blown ribbon. And this phase button, you don't hear a difference at all, so just leave it out. So, but if you would have known, it would have been way faster. and you could have spent the day finding the right position on the right settings. Because what you did there is you didn't only lose a whole day of recording, you lose a day of experience where to put the mic in the bass drum, because the sound was rubbish anyway. So you didn't learn a lot. If you wouldn't have pressed the button, you would have learned that not only the kicking increases as closer you get to the beater, but also the low end expands the more you get away from the beater back to the resonance hole. Could have learned that, but you didn't. And so on and so forth. If you don't know what a compressor does and you're just clicking through presets, well, you might get to something sounding good, but it will take you very long. And as soon as you charge money for that, you should be very fast. So try and error doesn't help a lot. So if a client, if a band is in, and well, I have thought about the mics in advance, this has all been done, and I just put up the mics and I listen to something that's not particularly sounding good, or not the way I thought it should sound. I know all my tools. I know all that. And if it's sounding broken, I immediately get an idea of what it might be to know how differentiate distortion with overdrive, and get an idea, okay, is this some sort of amp just getting too much signal, or is this something actually broken? Might it be a cable? And might it be something on my equipment? Might it be the instrument itself? Whatsoever makes you even faster. And knowing your meters is something. If you see something on the meters, you get an idea, okay, I need to go about -10-ish. This is something where I stick. -10 LUFS, not LUFS, what's it? Just FS, full scale, yeah. Digital full scale. You know what I mean. In Pro Tools, then, yeah, this is something I learned, because I learned the technical side of it. I know what DBFS is, and I know what DBSPL is, making different, and you get the point. If you know all this stuff, you will be way faster, and you will be solving problems way faster and just messing around. Which gives you way more time to learn, and way more time to make the best record ever, and to improve on sounds and not on technical problems. As I said, I'll try to do all these explanations video later on. If you want to see them, click that subscribe button. If you're German, I already have some out there. And if you want to support this channel, there's a Patreon page now on screen or in the description down below. Thank you very, very much for watching. See you soon. Bye. Bye.